Good morning, students. So in the previous class, we have seen the branching control, that is the if and various if and switch case. Now we are going to see the looping control structure. So C++ supports three kind of looping. One is a while, do while, and another one is a for. Okay. Now first we see the while control structure. Okay. So this is the general syntax of while statement, while loop. So while conditional expression, then statement block. The conditional expression may be a relational or logical expression. It evaluates the conditional expression. If the condition is true, then the statement block will be executed. And then once again, it evaluates as long as the conditional expression is true, the statement block, the loop will be continue. Okay. When the condition expression becomes false, then control will transfer to the next statement. So this is the while loop. So this is the flow. Here condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, then the code inside the body of the while loop will be executed. If the condition is false, then the end of the loop. That is, it come out from the outside. So when the condition is true, then this will be executed, and the condition is false. True means this execute again, it evaluate the condition. If the condition is true, again it will be executed. The loop is repeated until the condition is false. So when the condition is false, means it comes to the end of the loop. So this is the use of the while. The next do while. So this is the syntax of the do while statement. Here the body of the loop will be executed and the condition is evaluated at the end in the while. Okay. So when the condition is again true, what happened? The body will be once again repeated. So this loop will be repeated as long as the condition becomes true. Okay. When the condition becomes false, means then the loop terminates and next statement will be executes. Okay. So what is the difference between the while and the do while? Okay. In the while, the condition is evaluated at first, whereas in the do while, the condition is evaluated at the last. That means at least in the while, if the condition is false initially, then the loop won't be executed. Whereas here, at least the body will be executed one times, and then the condition false means it come out from the loop. So only one time the body will be executed. There it is not possible. Okay. So that is the difference between the while and the do while. Now this is the flow. So the body will be executed, then the test condition, if the test condition is true, then once again the body will be executed. Therefore this loop will be executed as long as the test condition becomes true. When the test condition becomes false, then the loop terminates. Then third one is a for. Okay. The general syntax of for is a for initialization section, then test condition section, and then increment section. Okay. So this section, that is the control variables are initialized in the initialization section. Then the test condition is evaluated. If the condition is true, then the statement block will be executes. Okay. Then once the statement blocks will be executes, then the increments section increments. Once again, the condition is evaluated, then the statement block will be executes, and then increments, the condition will be evaluated. So this loop is repeated until the condition is true. Okay. When the condition becomes false means it come out to the outside statement. Okay. Suppose that we want to break, we want to come out from the loop intermediately, then we use the break statement. Let me say, already we have seen the break statement in the switch case. The same statement is used here to break the loop also. Okay. Then nested for. Okay. So a for may consist of another for. So inside, this is the outer loop and this is the inner loop. Okay. The inner loop will be evaluated number of times. Then again it comes to the outer loop. Again the inner loop is evaluated and then it comes outer loop. Therefore, as long as the test condition of the for is true, so many times the inner loop will be evaluated. So this is the nested for. Let us see some programming example for using the while, do while and for. Okay, this is the simple example of do while statement. Initially, I is assigned to 1, then do, we print the do, then it increments. The test condition is I is less than or equal to 10. Okay. So initially I equal to 1 means now I plus plus 2. So 2 is less than or equal to 10. Then once again, it will be evaluated. Again, it prints 2. Then I is increment, I becomes 3. 3 is less than or equal to 10. So this loop will be repeated until I is greater than 10. When I is greater than 10, then the loop will terminate. Okay. Let me see the hand-on training. Now we execute this program. Therefore, the output will be 1, 2, 3 until 10. Okay. Therefore, when I becomes 11, what happens? The loop will be terminates. Oh, let me see another example. Okay, this is the program to print whether a given number is a prime or not using for loop or while loop. We can use using the for loop or while loop. Right. So you know what is a prime number? A prime number is a number which is divisible by 1 and itself. So no other numbers will divide. That is the remain. When we divide the number, if it is divisible, then it is not a prime number. Okay. Take for example 4. So you leave it 1 and 4 always divides 4. So remaining number in between 2 and 3, we check 4 is divided by 2. Okay, the remainder is a 0 2 times. Okay, the remainder is a 0 and hence it is not a prime number. Whereas you take the number 5, 2 not divides, 3 not divides and 4 not divides and hence it is a prime number. Okay. So here I am defining n, I and m equal to 0, flag equal to 0. Then C out, enter the number to check prime. So here read that number C in n. So here m equal to n divided by 2. We divide, suppose that if the number is 9, then m equal to n by 2. 9 by 2. 9 by 2 means 4. Integer part is 4. Just we can check from 2 to 4 alone. Okay. So for I equal to 2, I is less than or equal to 4, I plus plus. Okay. If n mod I equal to 0, suppose n is 4, 4 mod I is 2. So 4 divided by 2 equal to 0. So true. Then we print the number 4 is not prime number and set flag to 1. So once it is not a prime number means we break out the loop. And again here we check flag. So what happened? Already flag equal to 1. Therefore this will not be checked. Okay. Suppose if the number is a 3, then first I is a 2. 3 mod 2 equal to 0. So false. False means this will not be executes. Okay. Then I is incremented. Okay. Since the condition fails, the loop won't be executes. Then here it comes if flag equal to 0. Since already flag is a 0, so it is a true. Then the number is a prime number. Okay. Let me execute this one. Right. I am using 5. So 5 is a prime number. 10. So 10 is not a prime number. Suppose that we want to use by using the while loop. The same. Instead of for, we use while loop also. So while I is less than or equal to m, plus plus I. Here we assign I equal to 1. Now we execute this program. Seven. So the number 7 is prime. $15. The number 15 is not prime. Okay. So using the while. Previously we have seen using for. Then next program is a sum of digit using the while loop. Here, suppose if you give 1234, a single digit, then this program calculates the sum of digit, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Right. Here we define n sum and m. See out, enter a number. Then read that number by using cin statement, c in n. So while n is greater than 0, m equal to n mod 10. Okay, suppose if the number is a 123, then m equal to 123 mod 10. Therefore, m becomes 3. Okay. Here, sum equal to sum plus n. Already sum equal to 0. Therefore, now sum becomes 3. Here, n equal to n divided by 10. So, 123 divided by 10 equal to 12.3. Since n is an integer, so now n becomes 12. Okay. Then again, it comes to the loop. So 12 is greater than 0. True. Then m equal to n mod 10. So 12 mod 10 equal to 2. So sum equal to sum plus n. Already sum is 3. Therefore 3 plus 2, 5. Now n equal to n by 10 means 12 by 10, 1.2. So integer is a 1. Okay. N is greater than 0. 1 is greater than 0. Then m equal to n mod 10. Therefore m becomes 1. Then sum equal to sum plus m. Already sum equal to 5. 5 plus 1, 6. So n equal to n mod 10. 1 divided by 10 means this is 0. Therefore 0 is greater than 0, fails. Therefore the loop terminates and then sum of digit. Here we print the digit. Okay, let us say the hands-on training. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12,345. The sum of digit is 15. So 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15. So this is the program for sum of digit.